Imagine an aircraft so advanced that enemy radar operators might never know it is there. A bomber capable of flying across entire oceans, striking heavily defended targets, and returning home without being detected. A machine designed during the Cold War to penetrate the Soviet Union's most sophisticated air defenses and deliver nuclear weapons if World War II ever began. This is the story of the B-2 Spirit, one of the most expensive, secretive, and technologically advanced aircraft ever built. Its origins begin during one of the most dangerous periods in human history. By the late 1970s, the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union had reached a critical stage. Both superpowers possessed thousands of nuclear weapons. Military planners on both sides understood a terrifying reality. If war broke out, survival could depend on the ability to strike first or respond before being destroyed. The United States relied heavily on strategic bombers such as the Boeing B-52 Stratofortress. Although the B-52 was an excellent aircraft, Soviet air defense systems had become increasingly sophisticated. New radar networks, surface-to-air missiles, and interceptor aircraft threatened even the most capable bombers. Military strategists feared that traditional bombers might not survive future conflicts. The Pentagon needed a revolutionary solution. Rather than making aircraft faster or higher flying, engineers began exploring an entirely different concept. What if an aircraft could become nearly invisible? The idea of reducing radar visibility had existed for decades. During World War II, engineers noticed that certain aircraft shapes reflected radar waves differently than others. However, available technology was insufficient to create a truly stealth aircraft. Everything changed during the 1970s. American researchers studying radar theory discovered that specially designed surfaces could dramatically reduce radar reflections. Instead of bouncing radar signals back toward enemy receivers, carefully angled surfaces could scatter them in multiple directions. This concept became the foundation of stealth technology. One company quickly emerged as a leader in this field, Northrop Corporation. Northrop had decades of experience designing flying wing aircraft. During the 1940s, legendary engineer Jack Northrop had developed experimental aircraft unlike anything else in the world. Traditional airplanes use a fuselage, wings, and tail sections. A flying wing eliminates most of these components and consists almost entirely of one continuous wing structure. The design offers several advantages. It reduces aerodynamic drag. It improves fuel efficiency. Most importantly, it minimizes surfaces that reflect radar energy. Although flying wing projects from the 1940s never entered mass production, the concept remained attractive for future stealth aircraft. In the late 1970s, the United States Air Force secretly launched a program known as the Advanced Technology Bomber Project. Its mission was ambitious: create a strategic bomber capable of penetrating Soviet airspace undetected, carry conventional or nuclear weapons, travel intercontinental distances without relying on overseas bases, survive in the most dangerous air defense environments ever created. The project was classified at the highest levels. Even many government officials had no idea it existed. Engineers worked behind closed doors. Testing facilities operated under strict security. Employees were often forbidden from discussing their work even with family members. During development, Northrop engineers faced enormous technical challenges. Stealth required far more than unusual aircraft shapes. Every component had to be carefully designed to avoid radar detection. Engine intakes needed special structures to hide compressor blades from radar systems. Exhaust systems required cooling mechanisms to reduce infrared signatures. Panel gaps had to be minimized. Special coatings absorbed radar energy rather than reflecting it. Even small details such as antennas, sensors, and access panels required extensive redesign. Many technologies used on the future bomber had never existed before. Powerful computers became another critical component. The aircraft's unusual flying wing design created unique flight characteristics. Without a traditional tail, maintaining stability demanded constant adjustments. Fortunately, advances in digital flight control systems made such designs practical. Computers continuously monitored the aircraft and automatically adjusted control surfaces many times every second. Without these systems, flying the aircraft would have been extraordinarily difficult. As development continued, costs rose dramatically. Creating revolutionary technology required billions of dollars in research and testing, yet military leaders believed the investment was justified. If successful, the aircraft could fundamentally change strategic warfare. During the early 1980s, construction of prototype aircraft began under intense secrecy. Workers assembled major components inside secure facilities. Satellite observation from foreign governments became a concern. Some manufacturing activities were conducted indoors to prevent reconnaissance photography. Rumors inevitably emerged. Aviation enthusiasts speculated that America was developing mysterious new aircraft. Some reports described triangular aircraft. Others mentioned futuristic bombers hidden in desert testing ranges. Most information remained classified. The public knew almost nothing. Behind the scenes, engineers continued, refining what would eventually become one of the most recognizable aircraft ever built. The bomber featured a smooth flying wing shape unlike conventional aircraft. Its wingspan measured approximately 172 feet, or more than 52 meters. The cockpit accommodated only 2 crew members, a pilot and a mission commander. Despite its massive size, the aircraft was designed to appear dramatically smaller on radar screens. Some reports suggested its radar signature could resemble that of a small bird under certain conditions. Whether entirely accurate or not, the aircraft represented a revolutionary leap in stealth capability. As the decade progressed, Cold War tensions remained high. The Soviet Union continued modernizing missile systems and radar networks. American planners viewed the stealth bomber as a critical component of nuclear deterrence. If war ever erupted, the aircraft could potentially penetrate heavily defended regions and destroy strategic targets. This capability helped strengthen deterrence by ensuring potential adversaries could never be certain their defenses were impenetrable. Finally, after years of secrecy, the world received its first glimpse. On November 22, 1988, the aircraft was officially unveiled to the public. Crowds gathered to witness a machine that looked more like science fiction than reality. The smooth black flying wing appeared unlike any bomber ever constructed. News organizations around the world broadcast images of the mysterious aircraft. Military analysts immediately recognized its significance. The United States had revealed a bomber specifically designed around stealth technology. Its official designation was B-2 Spirit. For many observers, it represented the future of aerial warfare. Yet, unveiling the aircraft was only the beginning. Extensive flight testing still remained. Engineers needed to verify stealth performance, flight characteristics, weapons integration, and operational reliability. Furthermore, history itself was about to change. The Cold War that inspired the bomber's creation was approaching its end. The Soviet Union would soon collapse, forcing military planners to reconsider the bomber's role in an entirely new world. But despite changing global politics, the B-2 Spirit would soon prove its value in real combat operations across multiple continents. And those missions would demonstrate why many experts still consider it one of the most remarkable military aircraft ever built. Following its public unveiling in 1988, the B-2 Spirit still had a long journey ahead before entering operational service. While the world was fascinated by its futuristic appearance, engineers and test pilots were focused on something far more important, proving that the aircraft could actually perform its mission. The first flight of the B-2 took place on July 17, 1989, from Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. Aviation enthusiasts, military officials, and engineers watched as the giant flying wing lifted off the runway for the very first time. The flight lasted just over 2 hours. For most aircraft, a successful first flight is an important milestone. For the B-2, it was historic. Decades of stealth research, billions of dollars in development, and years of secrecy had finally produced a functioning aircraft. Throughout the following years, multiple prototypes participated in extensive testing programs. Engineers evaluated every aspect of performance, including aerodynamics, radar visibility, weapons delivery systems, electronic warfare capabilities, and long-range endurance. The aircraft performed remarkably well. However, its complexity created enormous challenges. The stealth coatings required constant maintenance. Specialized materials had to be carefully inspected after every mission. Many systems were far more advanced than anything previously installed on military bombers. As a result, operating costs became extremely high. Originally, the U.S. Air Force planned to purchase 132 B-2 bombers, but world events changed everything. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. The Cold War ended. The massive nuclear conflict the aircraft had been designed to fight never occurred. Without the Soviet threat, political leaders questioned whether America still needed a large fleet of expensive stealth bombers. Congress dramatically reduced procurement numbers. Instead of 132 aircraft, only 21 operational B-2s would eventually be built. This decision made each aircraft extraordinarily valuable. Depending on how development costs are calculated, each B-2 cost well over $2 billion, making it one of the most expensive aircraft ever created. Critics called it a flying luxury item. Supporters argued that no other aircraft possessed comparable capabilities. Only real combat would settle the debate. That opportunity arrived in 1999 during the Kosovo War. The conflict involved NATO operations against Serbian military forces. For the first time in history, the B-2 Spirit entered combat. The mission demonstrated one of the bomber's most impressive capabilities. Instead of deploying from overseas bases close to the battlefield, B-2 crews launched directly from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. The aircraft flew across the Atlantic Ocean, entered hostile airspace, conducted bombing operations, and returned home. All in a single mission. Some sorties lasted more than 30 hours. Pilots spent over a full day inside the cockpit. These became some of the longest combat air missions ever conducted. The B-2's stealth characteristics allowed it to strike heavily defended targets while minimizing exposure to enemy air defenses. During the conflict, B-2 bombers reportedly destroyed a significant percentage of high-priority targets, despite representing only a small fraction of NATO aircraft involved. Military planners were impressed. The bomber had successfully demonstrated the strategic value envisioned decades earlier. Only 2 years later, another conflict emerged. Following the September 11th attacks in 2001, the United States launched military operations in Afghanistan. Again, the B-2 played a critical role. Afghanistan presented unique challenges. Many targets were located deep within mountainous terrain far from major military bases. The B-2's enormous range made it ideal for such missions. Aircraft flew from the United States to Afghanistan, conducted precision strikes, and returned home after missions lasting over 40 hours. To support crew endurance, pilots used carefully planned rest schedules and cockpit procedures. The aircraft effectively became a small flying workspace for nearly 2 consecutive days. The war demonstrated that stealth bombers were not limited to nuclear deterrence. They could also perform highly precise conventional strike missions anywhere in the world. In 2003, the B-2 participated in Operation Iraqi Freedom. During the opening phase of the conflict, stealth bombers targeted command centers, communication facilities, air defense systems, and other strategic objectives. Precision-guided munitions allowed the aircraft to strike multiple targets during a single mission. The combination of stealth technology and advanced weapons significantly reduced risks compared with conventional bombing operations. By now, the B-2 had established a reputation as one of America's most effective strategic assets. Yet, many aspects of its technology remain classified. Its stealth capabilities are often misunderstood. Contrary to popular belief, the aircraft is not literally invisible. Instead, it is designed to make detection and tracking extremely difficult. The flying wing shape eliminates many radar reflective surfaces. Special materials absorb portions of incoming radar energy. Engine placement reduces infrared signatures. Even the edges of access panels are carefully aligned to minimize radar reflections. The result is a dramatically reduced radar cross-section. Enemy systems may struggle to detect the aircraft until it is much closer than conventional bombers. Combined with electronic warfare systems and careful mission planning, this creates a significant tactical advantage. The B-2 is also capable of carrying an impressive weapons load. Its internal bomb bays can accommodate both conventional and nuclear weapons. Keeping weapons inside the aircraft helps preserve stealth characteristics by eliminating external attachments that would increase radar visibility. Throughout its service life, the bomber has been upgraded repeatedly. New communication systems allow integration with modern military networks. Improved computers enhance mission planning and navigation. Advanced sensors increase situational awareness. Weapons integration programs have expanded the range of munitions available to crews. Despite being designed during the Cold War, the aircraft continues evolving for modern battlefields. One of the most remarkable aspects of the B-2 is its global reach. With aerial refueling support, it can strike virtually any target on Earth. Few military platforms possess such flexibility. A bomber can depart from the continental United States, attack a target thousands of miles away, and return without relying on foreign bases. This capability provides political and military leaders with options unavailable to most other aircraft, yet maintaining the fleet remains expensive. Each aircraft requires specialized facilities. Climate-controlled hangars help protect stealth coatings. Highly trained maintenance personnel perform detailed inspections after missions. Operating the aircraft demands substantial resources. Nevertheless, many military analysts argue that its unique capabilities justify the investment. The B-2 has also influenced future aircraft development. Lessons learned during its design contributed to later stealth programs. Engineers studying next-generation bombers continue drawing inspiration from technologies pioneered by the Spirit. Its successor, the B-21 Raider, incorporates many concepts originally explored during B-2 development while introducing new advancements in stealth, networking, and operational efficiency. As the B-21 gradually enters service, the B-2 will eventually retire after decades of operation. Yet its legacy is already secure. The aircraft fundamentally changed military aviation. It demonstrated that stealth could be applied not only to fighters, but also to large strategic bombers. It proved capable of conducting intercontinental combat missions with extraordinary precision. It showed how advanced technology could overcome sophisticated air defense systems. And perhaps most importantly, it became a symbol of engineering ambition. The B-2 Spirit was born from Cold War fears, developed through unprecedented secrecy, criticized for its cost, and tested in real combat across multiple conflicts. More than 30 years after its first flight, it remains one of the most recognizable aircraft ever created, a flying wing emerging silently from the darkness, a machine designed to go where others cannot, a bomber that transformed the future of warfare. The story of the B-2 Spirit is not simply the story of an aircraft. It is the story of innovation, strategy, and one of the most ambitious engineering projects in aviation history.